with it.
It was pretty embarrassing to say that. Okay, I like this little beat we got back here. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, I'm Molly Karam Rose. Gentlemen, can we please talk about the NBA last night? Let's go. So you heard Stephen A. I wasn't the only one very confused when I turned this game on, and I thought it was going to be a competitive night, and it was absolutely the opposite. No James Harden. Instead, it was a beatdown, and Kevin Durant put on a clinic. Max, I think it's fair to say he's recovered. Kevin, how you feeling?
Tomorrow will mark 2 years since you initially injured your calf. I know you worked your butt off to get to this point, but did you ever think you'd be this good?
Is that a real question? Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
what you want me to say to that? Of course I did.
It's pretty impressive what you've been able to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I mean, that was 2 years ago. I'm looking forward to just getting up tomorrow and going to practice, watching film, and seeing how we can get better. But, I appreciate that. But, that was too long ago.
We got to figure out what we got to do to stop that, and stop. We can't stop it. Make that stuff as possible. I've said before that, he's Kevin Durant. He's one of the best scorers in the league. Like he's supposed to do this, but at the end of the day, we're just going to try to make the stuff as possible for him and show more bodies, just be more physical, and hopefully that can bother him a little bit.
Well, you're supposed to do it too, Giannis. All right, LeBron not only focused on Space Jam 2, also marveling at KD like the rest of us, tweeting this. That combo nasty, my goodness. Max Kellerman. Was this game more about the Nets or the Bucks?
The Nets, of course. The Nets, once you saw the way they came together, once you saw how quickly the defense improved when Harden joined the team, looked unstoppable. The fact that they're doing this without James Harden right now, when they still haven't really figured the defense out, not really like it's going to be in the next couple weeks, considering how quickly they figured it out the first time, is absurd. The only thing I could compare it to, it's like, and they can't stay healthy, it seems like. The Nets, like the universe doesn't want us to see that all. It's like too much. There's something called a singularity, Stephen A., a black hole, right? It punctures space-time. And you can't ever see into a black hole. That would be a naked singularity. It's like the universe doesn't want you to see its secrets almost. That's what I feel like it would be if James Harden were healthy on this team. That's why the basketball gods can't allow this team to be all healthy, because it's like, no, we know too much. The universe would explode. I mean, this is ridiculous. KD was completely unstoppable. Kyrie is the second best player on the team, and like how many second best players on a team are as good as Kyrie ever, right? Blake Griffin's Blake Griffin. Like, here's the thing. I know he didn't have a big stat line last night. Had a bigger one the day before, right? What was it? It was close to 20 points, double-digit rebounds. But did you see him dunk all over Giannis?
Yeah.
That's Blake Griffin.
He's the guy who's dunking over cars and all that.
Yeah, that's Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's back. So it is a big three. And they got shooters everywhere. This Nets team, even without Harden, will challenge for a title. With James Harden, you might as well, there's nothing anyone can do. There is nothing anyone can do. Not the Bucks, not the Jazz, not no one, especially with James Harden.
To my producers, be ready to call up that Giannis quote when I ask for it in a second. But I want that same quote before Max started talking that Giannis quote. But before I get into Giannis, are you ready to admit for a second? Can we get to you? Are you ready to admit that they can win without James Harden?
It's possible.
Oh, no. Are you ready to admit it? Yes or no?
I never said yes. I never said no.
You?
No.
Really?
No.
I'm making that up? Hold on.
I didn't say that.
Listen. I'm going to start asking for your comments.
Yeah.
You didn't say that, excuse me, Harden, not only is he the most important player, because I know that's not the same thing,
sure.
but you talked about how...
I wouldn't pick them to get out of the East. Correct. I wouldn't pick them. That's not the same thing as saying they can't win.
Hold it, really.
You think that only the team you pick possibly can win?
Excuse me. You said in the middle of your soliloquy, your diatribe, or whatever word is appropriate, no, they need James Harden to get out of the East.
Okay.
Is that not the same as saying they ain't winning without James Harden?
Okay.
I'm sorry, am I making it up?
I don't want to go down this
Am I making it up?
To pick a team and say this team is going to win, not that team is not.
I just asked you a direct question. I just asked you a question. Don't play words with me.
What I said,
the word
if you want to know my exact quote,
did you not say?
I don't think they're getting out of the East.
Did you not say they are not coming out of the East without James Harden.
Okay, let's say I did. I didn't, but let's say I did.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm just
I
saying.
didn't. I said I don't think they would. But
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You might still be allowed to talk basketball since you're willing to admit.
Says the guy who got the finals wrong for 6 years in a row. What are you talking about?
That's right, I did. That's right, I did a few years ago. But unlike you, I'm willing to admit it and not dance around it like I'm moonwalking. Okay, that is what it is. Even though injuries played a role in that, but that's neither here nor there. That's okay. That's okay.
I don't have excuses except for this excuse.
Unlike you, I got 3 decades of a resume. So let's be clear. Now here's the deal of winning, of being right and winning. Now let's get to the Milwaukee Bucks. Call that quote up from Giannis Antetokounmpo again, please. I want America to see this quote again from Giannis Antetokounmpo post-game last night. Could you play that, please? Anyway,
like he's supposed to do this, and but at the end of the day, we're just going to try to make the stuff as possible for him and show more bodies, just be more physical, and hopefully that can bother him a little bit.
Cut! That is a disgrace. Who's the reigning defensive player of the year? Who's the reigning defensive player of the year?
Giannis.
That would be Giannis Antetokounmpo.
MVP and defensive player of the year.
MVP and defensive player of the year.
Jordan and Hakeem.
Tell me. 6'11". Yeah. It's not like Kevin Durant towers over everybody, like he towers over everybody else that tries to defend him. Giannis is 6'11". Giannis is mobile. Giannis is 240. Why can't you guard him? You know why? Because KD is the best in the world. That's why. KD is the best offensive player on the planet. Ain't the best shooter. That would be Steph Curry. The best offensive player on the planet Earth. You can't stop this brother. He is unguardable. There is nothing that they could do, which is why I've repeatedly told you he is the most important component. He is the X factor. Give me Harden with Kyrie. Give me Kyrie with Harden. I don't give a damn. You're not going anywhere without Kevin Durant, but with Kevin Durant, you can go to the promised land. You can win 73 games in a season and go to the finals and lose, but Kevin Durant comes and before he plays a game, LeBron James is giving a concession speech in Boston at TD Garden talking about, I don't want to be stressed thinking about having to go up against KD and Steph and the Golden State Warriors. That's who the hell this dude is. And if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, let me say this. Budenholzer, I hope he's enjoying his days. How in God's name do you come out and start the game on a zone? A zone against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving with Joe Harrison. He's not making adjustments. You got your team helpless. You got Giannis. Listen, this is basketball, y'all. Yeah. You got Giannis. When you have a basketball player with Giannis's ability sitting there talking about, well, we can't do anything with them. I mean, we just got to figure it out as a group. We got to be more physical. No, you! Because in the sport of basketball, more than any other place, it comes down to you. When you have those abilities, you're supposed to stand up, man up, and go like this. I ain't going out like that. He dropping 30, I'm dropping 40. He dropping 40, I'm dropping 50. And if I can't stop him, damn it, he ain't gonna be able to stop me. The Milwaukee Bucks laid down like raggedy dogs. Chris Middleton should be ashamed of himself. Drew Holiday should be ashamed of himself. Down 49 points? It's a national embarrassment. They should be ashamed of their damn selves. Go ahead.
I'll say this. I can't dispute what you're saying about the Bucks or Giannis. It was very disappointing if you're a Bucks fan. Very
embarrassing.
I don't think they win anyway, but it's very disappointing.
Yeah.
And
losing some pride, some dignity.
And if the Nets had James Harden, good Lord. Like, could it get even worse? I think it could.
By the way, James Harden and KD and them only played 3 quarters.
Right. But of course, they were up 40-something points.
3 quarters.
So one thing I'll say about KD is he's the best scorer, and he's also extremely smart. What KD understood, I think, at a certain point was branding. Hey, wait a minute. I'm walking around almost 7 feet tall. I can score every which way, defend, do all these things. And yet I'm not an all-time great, right? Because I don't have the hardware. I need a championship. Mm-hmm. So what he did was make sure that he had great teammates from there. And then he gets credit. Why? You're playing longer into the playoffs every year. You got the championships to validate it. Makes it real simple for everybody. Simple and plain. And now all of a sudden you're talked about differently. Now, I'm not disputing what you're saying about Giannis. I will point out that KD, even without Harden, when Blake is back to Blake, is part of a big three with shooters all around him again. Right. That Giannis, this is what I said when they got Drew Holiday, Stephen A. and people, Drew Holiday, I like him a lot. but you can't try to pass off Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday as two guys.
But you weren't. You weren't. What you're asking them to do is to do their job. What you're asking them to do their job.
I'm not disputing that. I'm saying you need
guys,
great
real quick,
teammates.
let me ask you this. You want to stay with this? We can get to the Suns, but I feel
back
like
to
there's
it.
a lot more. I'd like to stay here.
We could come back to this. We could come back to this.
You want to come back?
One more thing. Budenholzer, good luck